Hello, this is a very quick video demonstrating how to set up a fingerboard, and this is my personal preference, so there may be some things that you may choose to do differently or you may have seen other people do differently, but this is just my personal preference. So let's go through everything. So we've got the wooden deck, that's a soak deck, 29mm, nice checkerboard split ply, specific nose and tail put into the mould, which is fantastic, pops like a dream. We've got our 29mm Norwood Project trucks. We've got some Finco knife vane bearing wheels and a sheet of axe gang grip. So this is where I'm going to differentiate from what most people do. What most people will do immediately is grip the board and poke the holes through. And what I tend to do is, because I will buy hardware for a complete setup, I won't chop and change hardware. Some people may have a specific preference they really like. They might have some trucks that they will kind of swap around on different boards, so they may choose to have their truck bolts open so they can swap things out, but these will be on permanently. I'll set these up permanently, so I'm going to grip over the holes. So I will do the grip later, and I will show you how to do the grip later. But first things first, we're going to put the trucks onto the skateboard. And these trucks here come with a tool. I'll talk some more about different tools to use in the process a bit later on. So let's empty everything out. Here, let's bring it back a minute so you can see what I'm up to. And what I will do now, it might seem a little bit counterintuitive to some of you, but it may work. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bolts into the trucks first. I'll put them in first so I can thread them. Because I mean, if you are using a tiny little tool like that, if that's all you have, and you're trying to fit these on, and these base plates aren't threaded, you're going to really hurt your wrist, and you're probably going to end up with some trucks that are probably going to sit about 2mm off the deck and look really odd. Plus they'll probably fall off. So what I'd suggest you do is invest. Spend a few pennies and get yourself a precision screwdriver set, which is what I'm going to use now. So I've got these from Finco, these lovely tools. So I've got a precision screwdriver set which is magnetic, so I don't have to faff too much with worrying about things. And if you can see that there, screw on the end, and that there is for your little nuts and bolts later on. So, first things first, I'll try and speed my way through this as best I can, as I'm going to pre-thread these trucks, and I'll just screw that all the way down. And that went on an absolute breeze. So I mean, if I try that now with this tiny little tool, one, because it's not magnetic, it's going to be a pain. I'm going to have to sit that on. Right. If you pay attention in science class, everyone will tell you that the longer the lever, the greater the force. So you're going to really struggle with something like that. You can do it, certainly, it's just it will take a damn sight longer. And you can see how much effort I'm having to put into that to screw that in. Like, it's just showing you that it is doable. But it's easier to do with one of them. So that's what I'll do. I'll crack on and do that. And this is to save you time and effort in the long run. Nice. So they're all on now. So now I'm going to take them all off again. But it'll be worth it. If you've got a magnetic tip one, just keep that last one on the end. Turn your deck over. line your holes up, hold it in place. He says, hold it in place and screw it in. So just screw one on kind of quite loosely, just so it's on there. And grab another little screw and go on the diagonal. So I'll pop one in there, and I'm going to screw the other one in to there on the diagonal, just so that is held on nice and securely. Tighten that down, and then you know that that is in the right place to line up the other two holes. So you don't need to worry too much about it twisting and not lining up straight. Alright, so that trunk is well and truly on there. And that's what you should be aiming for. It should be nice and flush on there. Look, you might be able to see, use a light, which probably isn't the best thing. See if it'll focus. But your screw holes will go through the base plate. Rather than if you didn't thread your base plates and you can only get about 2 rotations of the screw on, and the base plate might be on but there's a gap on there, which isn't what you want. Right, that is on. You've got 2 trucks on. Okay, this next step of the process I'm going to do is going to be completely personal to you, but in my own little DIY hack. I love DIY hacks, they save you money. You can see that these cups, these trucks didn't come tuned with pivot cups, so buy yourself some, this stuff's called Scoubidou string, and that whole pack cost me £2, which is an absolute bargain, and that'll do you a million pivot cups, if not more. So I just found this process a bit of sort of trial and error really, but just try and kind of line up enough as to what you think you probably need, just to kind of cover that part of the hanger where it fits in the base plate in there. So I mean, if you buy one of these cheap packs, you don't have to worry too much about scrimping. If it doesn't line up, you can just cut yourself up some more. I'm going to use my tool now and just take these bits off. And these trucks come from Norwood Project and cost me £1.50. Dirt cheap, absolute bargain, they fit a dream, but for some reason this pack didn't come with any screws to fit the wheels on, which is a bit daft, but never mind. I can't complain because of the price, so I'm going to use that to fit the wheel on. And I've got some spares thankfully, so I don't need to worry too much. So what I'm going to do now is just pop a bit of pivot cup just in there. That is too much. That's far too big. I'm going to cut that down. Snip a little bit off the end of that. And it's always good to cut off more than less. You just want it to kind of poke a little bit out. It's a very fiddly process, so that is ideal. That right there. And then what you're going to do is just get the screwdriver end of your fingerboard tool, get in there, give it a wiggle and a twist, just to kind of widen that hole out, like so. And then you're going to fit your hanger back onto your base plate, and just sort of squeeze it into that there, and you will feel immediately that it will just feel so much more dialed and tuned. And these trucks didn't come with locking nuts, so I'm going to pop a locking nut just on the end there, just to make sure those don't come undone. Again, that's a personal preference of mine, that I use a lock nut on the kingpin, but I may not use a lock nut on where the wheels are, because generally I find that once the wheel nuts are on quite tight, they're not coming loose again, and that's a significant difference there. In that, there's no real play in that, that's just turning rather than that side's got a bit of play in it, because that doesn't have a cup end. Let's do the same for that side. Tighten that down. Because you're using lock nuts, you don't need to tighten all the way. These are just the stock O-rings on here. And at some point I'm going to experiment with some DIY bushings, which I'll make up. And I'll let you know how I get on with making those and how they do in a future video. So let's get the wheels on. Pull those out. Right. Wheel goes on. Little nut goes in. Your tool, and tighten them down. Because these aren't spaced or anything, you can tighten that all the way down till it won't turn, and that is on. That shouldn't come off. That's about as far as I'll turn it, and that is on. I mean, they do rattle a bit, but it's because they're budget trucks, but I'm not fussed for that. Sweet. Right. I'm going to remember now which way is the nose and which way is the tail, because that's how I'm going to set my grip up. So you get your grip sheet. And because I'm differentiating between which is the nose and which is the tail, I'm going to do that with a grip tape gap. I'm going to do that by roughly kind of lining up how much I'm going to need. And just kind of scoring with a pencil on the back. That's kind of where my offcut's going to be. A snip with some scissors. And all these little offcuts, foam grip, keep hold of those, because they're great for non-sliders, for if you make any obstacles, ramps, things like that in the future. I've got tons of them now. So again, I'm just going to line that up. And just kind of snip that off. I mean, again, this is the way that I personally do things. You may see people that do things slightly differently and you think that might suit you better. Yeah. It's all good. Again, so it's a nice piece of grip. So that's my tail, that's my nose. Cut so much off, so I mean if I just kind of mark that, just on the grip quickly, so I'm going to cut there and there, I'm going to cut like a 5mm gap. Just out of that. Lovely. I'm going to peel the grip off. And then just stick that on nice and straight. Alright, nice. And you've got a load of excess on that grip. So what you're going to do is you're going to get an Emery board, nail file, whatever you call it, and you're going to file off the excess. And what you're going to do is you're going to use a downward motion, like so. So you just get that and just kind of strike it, like you would when you're gripping a regular skateboard. as you can see, it just starts coming off straight away. So I'm just going to work my way around. I have also done this with a sanding bit on a Dremel tool. Other people use little sandpaper blocks. Whatever works for you, whatever your preference is. I'll just come clean off, look. Straight off. There you go, look. And that was a nice grip job, all nice and fresh. Just kind of cut it a tiny bit short on the side, so I didn't really need to kind of sand that too much. I mean, you can choose to kind of cover it all the way to the edge and kind of file it to the edge if you want, but just for the purposes of this quick video, that's that. And that is how you set up a fingerboard. I hope this has been helpful. You've enjoyed watching this. I know it's been a really lengthy video. I hope that's helped you. Alright, you go fingerboard and enjoy it.